Fresh Fridays. Yes, here we are. Zanetta is on her way, by the way. I'm not here on my own. Just a few technical problems. You know how it goes. I'm Stefania Pulio, and Zanetta is on her way. Zanetta Wooden from Redefine Me. I'm from the Gentleman's Square. And for those of you that don't know our talk show, we are on every week, every Friday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, because I'm over here in Melbourne, Australia, and she is over in the USA, Ohio. So today we have a great segment to talk about. And I'm not sure if you've been following us, but we're always about improving ourselves, improving our self-development, improving and being the better version of ourselves. And how do we do that? I mean, like, we're always looking for ways. We're looking out, we're looking at other people, we're looking how wonderful and so amazing they are, really evolving and expanding in their lives. And sometimes we can feel a little bit like, how do I get there? How do I do this? How do I actually, you know, be a better person and be the better version of myself and be more productive at work and be a better husband or a better wife or a better partner or a better, daughter, or whatever it is, okay? In relationships, how can I get better at my finances? How can I have that career that I've always wanted? I mean, these are questions that we ask ourselves all the time. Let's face it. I don't know about you, but I'm always like wanting to improve myself, and particularly in fitness. And that is a um, you know, number one, I guess, goal that people have, getting fit or even just getting healthier. That can be sometimes a struggle, choosing the right foods, being able to, say no when you want to and say yes when you want to. So, this all takes effort, right? It just doesn't happen magically. It doesn't happen like with the click of a fingers or some, um, magic genie pops out of a bottle and says, voila, there you go. Here is exactly what you want. If it was like that, I mean, everyone would be doing exactly what they want to do and we'd be all very happy, right? But all these things that we desire, all these things that we want to become or want to evolve takes work. Yes, it takes work and it takes action. It means that, we have to do something different than what we're doing now to become that better version of ourselves or to achieve that goal or to, have that career that we've always wanted or have that physical body, that fit, healthy body that is free from illness and dis-ease in our body. We're always striving to, want to have that more, right? give us a thumbs up or a heart if this resonates with you, because I don't know, it resonates with me. And it's not like I've been, maybe I have. I'm quite competitive, but I'm usually quite competitive with myself, believe it or not. And this is the case with a lot of people. We want to get perfect and be perfect. But what is perfect? Perfect is when you decide to be perfect. And, they talk about taking imperfect action, because as long as you're taking action, and it doesn't matter whether it's imperfect, just take it. Well, my take on that is just take action and know that you are perfect at that right time. There's no such thing as perfect or imperfect, because I think if we call it imperfect, we're focusing on the imperfection of that action, right? So I would just say take action. So why do we hesitate when it comes to actually investing in ourselves? And I wish Zanetta was here to actually join in, as here she is. She's about to pop in. Let's hope that her audio does work. But why do we actually hesitate? Why, Zanetta?
Can you
Oh,
hear
welcome.
me?
Yes, I can. Yes, yes, welcome. I've done the welcome to Fun Fresh Fridays. We welcome you.
Welcome to Fun Fresh Friday.
Yes, 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 yes. So, as you know, our topic is about, hesitation when it comes to investing in ourselves. And I just kind of, I'm not sure if you were listening in as you were trying to log in. About, wanting to be the better version of ourselves. I don't know about you. Oh, I do know about you. I know you're always wanting to be the better version, wanting to improve and evolve and be the better wife, be the better mother, be the better friend, be the, better at your career and just the whole self-development, which I think, and I'm sure you agree with me, is once you get started, it becomes somewhat a little addictive because you're on a high. You feel these endorphins in your body just exploding everywhere. And I've been away for the last week and I did do a 3-day intensive. And I guess that's probably why I'm so woof wound up and
So
so
wired.
wired. I am wired. And I I mean, what's different about this one as opposed to other ones that I've done? I just think I really went in consciously. I really went in with a full-on focus and was very conscious and very present. And I really realized how important it is that we invest in ourselves. And I really looked at the ridiculous figures that most of us, maybe not all of us, but most of us spend on other investments. Like we invest in insuring our car because if we stack our car, something happens, we need money. We're going to have that insurance to cover the cost of what loss may happen, right? We insure our bodies as far as a life insurance or a life, I don't know what you call it there. Do you call it a life insurance when you insure? Yeah. Retirement. We invest in our savings for retirement. We put monies there. We put monies here. We invest on other people. We invest energy, not only money, but we're just talking about money now, but we invest on all these other things that when it really comes to investing in ourselves, because we are it, we are the magnificent version of ourselves that we don't invest, whether it be in our
Right.
health, our personal growth, our mental health, our spiritual health, our fitness, everything in all areas. I said spiritual. Yeah, in all areas of our life. And I just think that we're all doing ourselves a disservice when we don't.
You think?
I know. I don't think. Yeah, I'm really adamant about that and saying that, yeah, we can definitely look at probably spending and investing on ourselves a little bit more. And it doesn't have to be done in the grandeur of style of things, but it can be done in baby steps. And,
Right.
we talk about the mind and how the mind is very habitual and changing behavioral patterns is quite hard. Scarcity sets in, the fear of, not having enough, the fear um, of I guess, yeah, not having enough and not being able to invest because there's never enough. Whereas in actual fact, the universe is such an amazing, universe that once we decide to invest in ourselves, whether it's time, energy, or money, whatever it is, because it's not just about money, it's about
Right.
energy, because really it's the energy that goes behind all in front of even the money, because it's the energy that drives us. Once we decide, the universe just works out how. If we
Okay.
can only,
Do explain.
well, I know this is too possibly a right brain for you because I know you're more. logical and compartmentalize.
Yeah.
I guess this falls into I guess stepping out in faith. Some people say stepping out in your own knowing,
Mm-hmm.
and also giving yourself the permission to step into the unknown. I think a lot of the times we don't allow ourselves because we get too comfortable with being comfortable, and we don't like being uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
whereas I want to really emphasize that it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's okay to be uncomfortable. And all we need to do is, reframe it and get comfortable with that uncomfortable.
Okay. Hello, Wayne. Oh, okay. Um.
Add your little
Okay.
bit, and I'll add a bit more uh,
Okay. Go ahead.
as to, this uncomfortableness that we, it's like anything in life. I don't know. I just even remember when you first drove your car for the first time, when you're L's. Do you have L's there, learners?
Yes.
And then you have your P's, you have probationary, and you're still on.
Oh.
We have the L's, and they have to be driving with someone with a full license of I don't know how many years. And then once you qualify that test and you pass, you then can drive on your own, but you're still a probationary, you still have a P. Well, those first steps of doing that, everything was foreign. It's new. It's like
Mm-hmm.
not familiar. But yet we know if you want to drive that car, we have to get through that uncomfortable feeling
Mm-hmm.
of the unknown, of whether we're going to pass that test, of whether we're going to pass that written test, of whether we're going to, do that first long distance drive, the 2-hour drive that we've never experienced before on our own. But once we just are open to it and getting to that, I guess, flow state, magical things happen. Opportunities, growth, expansion,
Mm-hmm.
feeling the stretch, getting uncomfortable with that stretch, and saying, I'm okay. I'm still alive.
True. 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 True.
So, what's your thinking? You're in your thinking box.
Yeah. I mean, um, I think a lot of people, and it's just not. I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of people um, hesitate in investing in themselves for um, for any kind of betterment or any kind of success. And the reason why I say it's very seldom, um, you know, to really get into it is because we are geared to be dependent on external. That's how we're raised. That's how we're taught. External. You know, to invest in yourself is to invest for females, or of the feminine. Don't want to offend nobody. Of the feminine, um, makeup is investment in themselves, but it's just to enhance this. Going to the salon, the hair, but that's investment for nothing internal. So any kind of investment for internal um, hmm, improvement, I want to say, then because I learned today Uh, and I even talked about you today.
Okay.
I did. I did. I
Yes.
said, I have a friend that, she's my co host and she does affirmations, but I don't really, affirmations don't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and this was during my, my session. And surprisingly, I learned something really interesting about me. She said, so you don't compare yourself to anyone else? I said, no, I don't. She said, so you don't think that you're lower than anybody? I said, no, I really don't. I don't think I have a one up on them, or no, do I think that they have a one up on me? In other words, oh, I'm not worthy because they're better than me, or the opposite side, I'm too good for them. I'm not there. So she was kind of thrown off because probably this is her first time ever hearing somebody smack dab in the middle. um, and so she said, "Huh? Well, have you heard of if formations?" I said, "What?" She said, "Instead of affirmations, because affirmations is for you to believe in yourself, for you to have that confidence. It's for you to notice that you are, worthy, you're strong, you're all of this good stuff, the inner investment." She said, "What about if formations?" I said, "What is that?" She said, "Turn it into a question. What if I am worthy?" I was like, "Oh." She said, "That caught you, didn't it?" I said, "Yes." It actually resonated. What if I am worth, investing in? What if I am strong enough to do certain things? What if I'm courageous enough? What if I'm smart enough to continue this education and get my degree? What if? So there are certain things that it's innate in us that we are inherent for with the value, but we're not taught it. So we revert back to, okay, let me invest in car because the car makes me look worthy. Remember that comment? All I have to do to get a woman's attention is to have money in my wallet, rent a Porsche, and buy expensive, or take it to an expensive restaurant, because those are the things that they place value on to make them look valuable. So it's kind of hard for to kind of tell people invest in yourself. I am, they're saying I am. I'm investing in makeup. I'm investing in my hair. I'm investing in my car. I'm investing, in my house. These are the investments, but all of those are actually worth less because at a flip of the switch, all of those can go away.
Correct. So once that, if that flip of a switch flips off, what foundation do we have to actually still keep us standing and
Right,
withstanding the storms that could come?
right. And I
Because
think
they're inevitable.
I think that's where it needs to kind of hone in, with investing in yourself, really uh, digging deep as to what it is really that we have an issue with. Is it really facing the demons? Or is it that when we do face it, we're going to find out that we are capable and able? So it's two things.
Mm. And that's an interesting point, Zanetta, because I mean, I've been there too, where I've not wanted to face some stuff. I mean, let's face it, everybody has. Anyone that says they haven't, you know what? You're lying.
Mm.
I'm sorry to say, you are lying.
Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
once we actually claim that and take responsibility for that, hey, we're afraid. I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
We're afraid of the unknown. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so comfortable to hang on to the old story. It's so comfortable to hang on to what it is that we know, then let go of that and then grasp onto a better story, a new
Right.
beginning, allowing more opportunities.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. People value different things. People value their money and investing their monies in different things, right? And what's really interesting is how fulfilled are we when we're just investing in those material things,
Right.
whether it be our faces, our hair, which is not to say, we're not saying don't invest in that. Let's
Right.
get this right. Or
Yeah.
if you're out there listening, please.
Please, some of you invest in your face. No.
um, invest in those things that make you feel good. If you want your teeth re-enameled, I don't know what it is. For some, women, Botox, coloring their hair, or creams that just are beautifully fragranced and feel nice, and creams on treatments for your hair and moisturizer for your body. Yeah, do that. That gives you that. But don't solely invest in that and not have a balance on the other
Right.
areas of your life. I think
Right.
that's what is really important. And I heard a really interesting story of one of the speakers that was at the conference, at the 3-day intensive last week. And he was a, facilitator, coach, and mentor. And he spoke about his life, how he had invested so much of his time, his energy, his money on just building his career, just going full force about, building his career, obtaining assets, investing monies on, assets that would give him a return. So he was just constantly generating money
Mm-hmm.
to the point where he was just investing in that. So his his health, first of all, his physical health was
Mm-hmm.
deteriorating. His mental, like his whole energy and the way he mentally processed things, it was just not being nurtured. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
feeling it. He wasn't evolving in that area spiritually and in his relationships. So he had all this money and assets and material things, but he was still feeling so empty. He was still feeling, and he was always about investing on how to better his career. So he was still investing. It wasn't like he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't investing on courses and programs and, going to masterminds and everything like that. He just wasn't evenly distributing where he was investing his energy and his money
Mm-hmm.
to have that foundation to help him, he spoke more about spiritually, to then be able to even be ready and fit to have a relationship, because he was so broken in that area. And he said it was just like, if you can imagine, these buckets, and there was like 7 buckets, and the buckets were, he referred to the chakras in the body. And we have the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plex, the heart, throat, and, up here, our pineal third eye. But he was working from his lower chakras, which is his root chakra and his sacral chakra. That's where we are more into the external things of life,
Mm-hmm.
the external of making money, primitive mind, reproducing, having
Mm-hmm.
a great time. But the other buckets in his life were just empty,
Mm-hmm.
to the point that he said his life came to a stop. He literally, physically was made to stop. And it was only then, that he realized something has to change here, or else I'm going to be 10 foot under before my time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was only a young guy, probably would have been about 35, very successful at a very early age, but was, missing a lot of other fulfilling things in his life. So, the story, the reason I'm telling this story is that some of us can capture that in time. We can hit rock bottom to the point that, hey, I've got to do something about this. It's not all about the money. And at that point, he had to give everything away. He gave his share to his other partner because he was not fit to work it anymore. And then, he told his story how he worked on all those other areas and rebuilt a new company, a new business, because it's in us to do it. Whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
that drives us, our passion, we can rebuild from scratch. But unless we're evenly balanced in those other areas, and we take the time to invest the time, the energy, put in the work, go deeper, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
don't just scratch the surface, feel the pain and do it anyway. Um, yeah, new beginnings can actually happen for you.
Right.
New beginnings
Right.
can actually happen. So, but why is it?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it we hesitate? This is, I guess, the main topic too of our conversation today. And I know I've been there. Don't lie, I've been there. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us are still there. Some of us have overcome that and just seek and see everything, as an opportunity. But why is it that we actually put the handbrake on and
Yeah.
and and don't allow ourselves to say yes, don't give ourselves permission to enjoy and allow ourselves to flourish? Because that's what we're really here to do, right?
Right. Well, see, the thing is here, um, we were once young and we had the notion of being the best, whatever, being an athlete, being a doctor, and or whatever the dream was as a child. And what happens is that in relationship, it might be seemingly just a high school crush and the heart is broken. But what we don't understand, or we weren't taught at an early age, that that's just a portion of of you. It's not the true you, it's not the true essence of you, it's just a portion of you. So yeah, you got your heart broken with this relationship. It doesn't mean that you are no longer have that, you no longer have that dream, or you can't fulfill that dream, or you can't, you don't have the strength or the talent or the determination anymore. Because here's what we say to ourselves: because of this failure, that means I'm going to fail at other things. So then it affects everything. The first heartbreak, what happens to our grades? It plummets.
What happens to our grades? Did you say grades?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it plummets. What happens to our, bubbly self? We go in, we close up. What happens to our eating habits? See, that first break just does a damage on individuals. And so we're not taught because they weren't taught, because our grandmother wasn't taught, our grandmother's grandmother wasn't taught, our grandmother's 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 grandmothers weren't taught.
Mm.
So here we are, we're trying to um, get through this first break that just seemingly shattered everything. And we think now everything is going to be like that. So the older we get, the more we try, but then we have that hesitation because that old feeling comes back. It's not the memory, it's the feeling that comes back. So the feeling stays in, the memory is, he's history. But is the emotion history? It isn't. So it's still there. Um, so these are the things that we really need to grasp a hold of. And I think that's why, um, self health, self care, all of this is now being prevalent because, we're now finding out it's way back then. And in our, plus we have to contend with our culture. That's another thing that we have to contend with.
Mm.
Oh no, no, being a Christian, you're not supposed to be, you know. So there's certain things that we have to contend: our faith, our culture, and our upbringing. Those are some things that we have to contend with. And then another feat that we have to overcome is that we have to realize we see it every day, we see it season after season, but we don't equate it to ourselves. The trees that has flowers. When it's spring, you see all the beautiful flowers. When it's summer, the flowers fade away. When it's fall, the leaves change colors and then they fall off. Come winter, it's nothing but bare. There's no leaves, no nothing. You don't see anything. And it looks like it's dead. But just wait. And we don't wait to the coming up because it has to rebuild itself. That's what the tree is doing. It's rebuilding itself and gathering all of the nourishment or whatever it is for it to flourish again. And this is a cycle that we all go through. Every every mistake, there's always a solution. There's always a rebirth. There's always a redo. But we don't go that far. We don't, because of that first heartbreak. Because we think that, just like some of the comments on your page, I laugh at them because I'm hearing past hurt. I'm not hearing now. I'm hearing past hurt. That's what that is. Oh, I guarantee you, you're this and you're that and you're that. Who's talking?
Mm.
You, so past is coming up. So that's where we actually need to kind of invest in. That's the investment. I mean, we can, like the affirmation that I was talking about, today with my with my therapist. I said I don't believe in affirmation because you can talk till you're blue in the face that I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, and then when something comes up, oh, I can't do that. Why? You've been saying I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong for the past 15 months. And then here it is. And you're like, oh no, I don't think I can do that. So invest in the root cause. Where did that come from? That's why I really love what you do. You get to the root cause, to back to where the actual pain, because
begun.
that's what we remember.
Mm,
We remember the pain more so than the incident.
mm.
Because if you tell me about your first heartbreak, you can give me a little bit, but man, you can tell me about that pain. Oh, I just remembered I cried all night. You remember the pain. The body remembers the pain. It doesn't necessarily remember each and every detail. But that pain, that's what we need to invest in. We need to lean in on the pain and then get through it. And then we can, like what you said about the driving, let's lean into the fear and then continue on until we get to the point of, oh, that was just a wrong turn, but I can make it. I can make a detour, I can make a u-turn, I can do this and I can do that, because now our body is now conditioned. Oh, we've been through this before, we can go through it again. So, and that's what it is. That's what we need to really invest in the primitive notion of, we all have innate, God-given rights.
Repeat that again. Bang.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, yeah, we all of us do. All of us have that innate God-given right. And what is that right? We are valued.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm. Yeah, it's just, it's actually very simple, you know.
it is, but
Yes.
it's so hard.
And they say the simpler the things, the harder it is to do, or the harder
Oh,
it is to understand, because we're just so used to the complex, the complicated,
yeah,
the long road,
yes, yeah. Yes.
excuse me, which is not really that long. We just choose to take the wrong road.
Hmm.
We choose to hang on to, the past stories, the future fears,
Yeah. Hmm.
that we're not living in the present and saying, well, I can right now. I just have to say yes. I just have to choose as to which way I want to go.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And those informations, I'm going to start saying that now. The informations, what if you become successful?
Mm-hmm.
What if you do it and you will be okay? You know, what if? What if you go into a relationship and actually try, you know, and it actually works? What if?
What if? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, another thing that I learned today is that it's so simple, so easy, it's so in your face
Mm. Usually,
that that you we miss it. You know how people say choose kindness. One kind gesture leads to another. Pay it forward, as they say, or um, show compassion. Show mercy, show grace. And here's what's in your face. Extend it to yourself. Hold on to grace. Hold on to compassion. Hold on to mercy for you. Yeah. he's he's so like, what, huh? Hold on to that. Take hold of it. You know, give yourself some compassion. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some mercy. You know, um, Be kind to yourself.
Mm. And that's a real valid point, Zanetta, because, you know, it's a known fact. You cannot be kind to others or have compassion to others or have, love for others or all those wonderful things
If you don't have it.
if you don't have it for yourself.
So
Um,
that means
yes.
that you do.
When you're
That
giving
means
it
that
when you're giving it away to others, you
when you,
can have it for yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
We just choose not to give it to ourselves.
yeah,
That's
so
all.
true.
That's
Hmm.
all. But having said that, that's how my mind goes. When you are giving this compassion and kindness to others and you're not giving it to yourself,
Hmm.
how much of it is it real kindness, real compassion? Is it coming from a place of authenticity and unconditional compassion, unconditional kindness? Or is it coming from a place of, this is what I've been conditioned to think and do? Because,
Mm.
we can get stuck in that as well because we've always been told to be kind to others
Hmm.
and have compassion for others and have love for others. But when that cup is empty for yourself and you're giving and giving and not giving to yourself, that in turn can have a negative effect on yourself because over time there will be a buildup of some kind of resentment or anger
Hmm. Hmm.
because you're not giving it to yourself and you're giving it all away. And you think you're angry with the other person. In actual fact, you're angry with yourself. We just don't know that. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, it does make sense. But let me kind of put a little bit of seasoning on it. Um, when we're taught compassion, when we're taught kindness, you said that, we're taught to do this, so therefore we do it. Well, we have to see first what kindness look like. We have to see first what compassion looks like, and it has to do something on the inside. And so by seeing it, it enters our eye gate, and we know what kindness looks like, what compassion looks like, what grace looks like. Oh, okay, I'm going to give you another chance. I'm going to give you a little bit of rope. Okay, I'm going to give you time. I'm going to give you. So we know what grace looks like, and we know what mercy looks like. So even though we're conditioned to do it, it's still the act that whether it comes from a place of authenticity or whether it comes from a place of um, being taught or learning it, at least it's being practiced. So in order for us to give, we must first receive. So what we have is what we can only give. And so if we're still giving that, that means it's there. Does it mean it's authentic? I'm pretty sure, the person knows it. I think only a narcissist does all of that fake stuff, but they get found out sooner or later, you know. But he's the kindest man. Yeah, no. It comes out. So to to answer the question as to why we don't give it ourselves, um, is because we were taught it's better to give than it is to receive. Just those little sayings, just those, um, you're a better person when you give and not receive. So we include ourselves in giving ourselves. Because why? Because we're taught don't be egotistical, don't be so self centered, don't be, all of these other sayings. So we don't interpret that as what it really is, but we interpret it as, oh, I can't have anything, because it's going to make me look like. And that's how we interpret some things. But if it's explained, then it's easier to kind of grasp. Um, I was also asked today, which is so funny that we're talking about this, about self-esteem. And I was asked a question: what does self-esteem mean to you? So let me ask you, what does self-esteem mean to you? Because I learned something today. I learned a lot of things today.
Mm.
What is the meaning of self-esteem to you?
Are you asking me?
Mhm.
Um, well, giving yourself grace.
Mhm.
um, you know, fluffing your own feathers. Just saying it a bit raw here.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. Well, I said, having confidence in yourself. Um,
Blowing your own
bel
trumpet.
right, believing in yourself. You're your own cheerleader. Kind
Right,
of thing.
right.
Um, and she said, yes, that is one. But the actual meaning of self-esteem is your inborn, God-given right of value. No matter what happens externally, you still have that value. It's just like the video of this one professor where he took a $20 bill and he said, "Who wants this $20 bill?" And all the students raised their hand. So he said, "What if I do this?" So he crumpled it up and he said, "Now who wants this $20 bill?" So all the students still raise their hand. "I do." He said, "What if I do this?" So he throws it on the floor, stomps on it, and kind of like drags it on the floor. And he said, "Now who wants it?" All of them said, "I do." He said, "This is a valuable lesson. No matter what I did to the $20 bill, no matter how crumpled up it was, no matter how much dirt I put on it, no matter how much I stomped on it, you know that it didn't lose its value." That is self esteem.
Mm.
No matter what happens on the outside, no matter what trauma has come into your life, no matter how many failures or successes that you have overcome or have come into, your value is still the same. You still have that value. And so I was like, wow,
That's
that's,
deep. That's really painting the picture of
yeah,
you're that $20 bill. You can relate to you being that person, that thing, that object of being stomped on, being thrown all the dirt and really
yeah,
dragged.
yes,
Oh my God, that I love it, Zanetta. Thanks for
yeah,
sharing that. Thanks for
yeah. And so she said, sometimes we don't have the issue of self-esteem. Sometimes we have the issue of other esteem. I was like, other esteem? I was like, hold on, wait a minute. What's this? So I guess she kind of knew that I have a scientific mind. So she's peeking certain things, with me. And she said, other esteem is that you have a great husband or you have a great partner and they love you unconditionally, therefore you are valued. Therefore you feel valued. Wow, okay. You are great at your job and you feel valued because you are given promotions, you are given, all of these kudos and certificates and, the go-to person is Anetta. So you feel valued because of your skills and abilities. She said, but that's not who you are. I was like, wow. Yeah. Who you are as a person. Yes, you have these skills, abilities, and talents, but that's not,
Who you
no,
are.
you're valued for the simple fact that you are a human being.
And I think I really strongly believe, don't only think, that this is where humanity's lost their way. They've lost their way. They're searching and wanting to know how and why and how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's already within us.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
already there. It's within us. And we're being taught and shown to look externally that all that gift and that self-honoring and self-love and and accessing all that we desire and want is within us.
Is within us.
And
Yes.
we just haven't been shown that. We haven't been taught that through school, even through religions, because we're always looking, God is external, God is up there
Yeah.
sitting on his throne, but really, God is within us and we're all connected. That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
That they
Yeah.
don't tell us is the connection.
Yeah.
So I did this really interesting exercise, particularly when I was up there up north, because I had time on my hands.
Uh-huh.
You could see I was floundering around on the beach and just, oh my God, it was just a 3-day bliss of, 3-day workshop and then 3-day of just being like a free bird. But I intentionally and consciously connected with everybody.
Mm.
And how did I do that? Where if I was, walking towards someone, I would smile, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily say anything, just smile
Mm-hmm.
and connect with them. Just feel my soul, just feel my energy expand and connect with the people that I was. And then I felt myself extending that energy and expanding along the beach out of the city. And it was amazing. And I said, let me see how many people I can actually connect with,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
where I can physically see it or feel it, or there'll be some sort of social cue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not, I think I scored about 90% of the people, only because I was emanating and coming from that energy. And just, it wasn't because it was everyone's feeling hunky dory.
Mm-hmm.
It was specifically because I consciously made that decision that that's how I'm going to emanate. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to connect with people.
Yeah.
And it was profound. It was really profound. So going back to what you're saying, it all lies within us. It all is within us. We just need to know how to access it,
Yeah.
which that part isn't even hard either. We
No, it
think it's
isn't.
hard, right? We really think it's hard. And, I guess people are cashing up.
Right. Right. Right.
But we won't
Mm-hmm.
go there. We won't go there now. But um, it's helping people access that. We've all got that to access. But we also have to realize that we have to remove what's already there that's blocking us. That
Mm-hmm.
key. And that's where we're stuck. That's how we get stuck, because we have an issue in
Mm-hmm.
our tissues, because that's where they all reside.
Right.
Our memory, our cellular memory, subconscious, our physical body, that issue that we all have, we all got one or two or three or four or many,
Right.
are in our tissues. And that is profound when you allow yourself to go there and remove those splinters
Mm-hmm.
one
Mm-hmm.
by one.
Yeah.
Baby
What
steps.
there's this TV show here. It's called Who Do You Think You Are?
Mm.
It's a great TV show. It's a great show. What it is it's celebrities, and they do a history, who they're related to. That's why it's called Who Do You Think You Are? So there's this I can't remember, uh but I think it's Julia Roberts. I can't remember. Don't quote me. But
Mhm.
anyway, but this person was white, but their ancestors were black. They were
Wow.
slaves, and they were appalled
Really?
as to what happened to these individuals, you know. And then there was, I think it was Spike Lee, if I'm not mistaken. So Spike Lee is an activist. He's an African American, and he's into these African American, TV, movies, and all of that. And he has white ancestors. So it's so amazing to me that when you trace back your ancestors and you wonder why you do certain things, why you think the way you do, um, why you are passionately opposed to certain things, and why you're passionately for certain things. Hello, Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Um, it's because it's like what you said. It's in our blood. It's
Mm.
in us. It's a part of us, and so you know. And these are the things that we really need to kind of go back into. Because this is who we are. This, you know, what we have in us. We have pioneers. So we have that pioneer energy in us because we didn't come up, we didn't wake up on this earth all of a sudden owning a cell phone. Somebody had to think about it. So that's pioneer, that's engineering, that's critical thinking. Those are the certain things. And then you have the compassion. You have those that care for other, like a community, like in the African villages where everybody is a parent to their child, all the children in the village. So we have that nurturing um, DNA in us. We have that. We have that in us, and so that connectivity, that community, that family. You know, um, we have all of that in us because it's in our blood. It's with our ancestors. You know, the ones who invent. It's in our blood. If we go back to figure out who our ancestors were, some of us have royalty blood.
Mm.
Don't even know it. But if you just dig deep, just dig a little, go to Ancestry, see who your ancestors are, and you'll find out what kind of cloth you were made out of. Just that
Interesting.
simple.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, just that simple. It's simple, but we have to get it in here. We have to believe it. Yeah,
Yes. And allow ourselves.
yeah, yeah. And that's a part of the investment, investing in yourself. Yeah.
Ain't that hard?
Nope.
It ain't that hard
And
at
guess what? cost you this many.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Just time, energy, you know.
Yeah.
And we just have to be conscious where
Mhm.
we are putting our energy, because that's also investing on ourselves. Like, idle gossip and all that energy and time and thinking that is not serving us. It's not getting us closer to our goals. It's actually getting us
No.
further away and putting more
Yeah.
blockages there. And so, oh, what am I doing here? And that's something that I've started to do more of.
Hmm.
And I've, interesting enough, even on my flight back, I really got stuck into. I'd already started it, but I hadn't touched it for over a week. Is listening to, you know, the book "Leader Without a Title," the LTT, L leader LWT, leader without a title, OT, and yeah, just amazing stuff. I just love the way Robin Sharman writes and
Yeah.
delivers his message through characters, through which is just reinforcing all the things that we know, but bringing it to light in a different way, which I think really highlights. It's not like just reading information.
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a real spark. So if I hadn't have allowed myself to invest in this Audible book,
Hmm.
I would not have known. I would have added a new skill, so to say, because I really enjoy the way he writes and the way he is definitely a visionary, because he expresses everything
Definitely.
in a way that you're there, you're feeling whatever that character's feeling, you're seeing whatever that character's seeing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you embody that character. So
Hmm.
yeah, I allowed myself. So out of that, I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. This is awesome. So when we do that
Hmm.
and not come from a scarcity mindset, oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I'm good enough. No. What if
What if?
you are good enough? What
What
if
if?
this could just shift the needle for you and get
Right.
you closer to what it is you desire
Right.
rather than what you don't desire?
Exactly.
So yeah, I just love it. Um,
Yeah. And sometimes, so I was having a conversation with with my little one. And we were talking about, wherever in the world, pick whichever where you want to go. Where would you go? And she said, well, I would go to Virginia and Hawaii. I said, out of the whole world? I said, why Virginia? It's because my friends are there. Oh, okay. Well, why Hawaii? She said, because that's where I first experienced the beach.
mm,
I was like, you know what? Not a lot of people can say their first experience of beach is Hawaii.
mm.
I said, so you don't want to go to Africa where you can see the animals that you are so glued to on the show, looking at lions and zebras and giraffes and yeah. I said, well, why didn't you say Africa? Because I've been to Virginia before and I've been to Hawaii, so I'm comfortable. I was
Mm.
like, oh, it's like, don't you want to explore outside of your comfort zone and get to know these things and see them in person instead of just seeing it?
Book or a screen, yeah.
It's like, yeah. I said, okay, so where else? So I have, the Eiffel Tower on my watch because that's my goal. My goal one day is to go see the Eiffel Tower in person. So she said, I want to go to Paris. Okay. So
Yeah.
then she started saying some other things, you know. I said, yes, expand. You know, don't go to certain places because you're familiar. You know, go to other places because you'll be shocked as to what's really inside of you.
Mm.
You'll you'll explore as to who you really are when
Mhm.
you go to unknown places and try new things.
Mm. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Just play.
just
Just
play.
play. That's all. Like we play when we're children.
Hmm.
You know, I know I used to pretend I was in different places. um, as you do when you play, or
Yeah.
with Barbie dolls. I used to have Barbie dolls, and I used to have them in different settings. I remember we had these steps, about 5 steps from the back door, 5 steps, and then you come into the backyard, and every step was a different scenery, a different country, a different so she
Mm.
would be, Barbie and Ken would be in different places of the world.
Wow.
I couldn't my parents at the time, they said, "No, you can't have a camper van. We can't afford the camper van, and we can't afford the, you know, the dollhouse." So those steps became my dollhouse.
Well, there you go.
Um, every step was a different level to this house, which had 5 levels. So I created my own dollhouse of 5 levels, which you couldn't buy a dollhouse of 5 levels. The most
Look, a better version than the what they sell, right?
exactly.
And that one was free.
Yes, and had lots of room. Every step had.
Yeah,
So it's just allowing that creativeness of the mind to expand. And that is a
yeah.
child, that I was acting from a child. Imagine now as an adult, we can
And you can
do
do the same thing.
exactly.
Each level that you go through, you know, you can have this wonderful, one of my places that I go to in my mind when I'm starting to have anxiety or any kind of, yeah, I go to New Zealand in my
Ooh.
mind, even though I've never been there.
Oh, that magical place. I love New Zealand. And it's so much so that every time I connect with a Kiwi, with a New Zealander, I was like, "Oh, are you from New Zealand?" Because you can hear it in their accent.
Oh,
And yeah, I connected with a couple while I was away because they love
mhm.
they love Australia. And yeah, the place is magical. The people are
Oh,
magical. You would love
yes.
it. I could live there if it wasn't so cold.
I know. I know. I was saying the same thing. I was like, maybe I'll maybe I'll make that as an exception.
Yeah, yeah. Or you
Yeah.
could live,
But it's
3
beautiful.
months of summer there and then move away, but and the trees, the environment, the lakes,
The
there's just magic
color,
colours, yeah, the
the
magic,
color is so vibrant. It is different from any other place that
yes.
I've seen or been to.
Mm,
New Zealand is just wow. It captures you. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it captures me. That's
Or just
but
imagine
that's
going there.
yeah.
You actually feel the magic as you
Mm.
as you are crossing over those lakes. It is magical. So I thoroughly recommend it. Make it to your go-to list.
Oh, it's on our next
Next.
list.
Uh-huh. Good.
So, so this year we have Spain and Portugal, um, and next year is New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah, good. I was hoping
Yeah.
to hear that. Excellent. That's what we want. We definitely want to hear that. Well, great. Well, this has been a great conversation. How long have we gone
Yes.
for? Over an hour, as usual.
And
So, what's your, you know, takeaway, and what do you want to, you know, reaffirm?
affirm.
Affirm.
Yes. You know, investing takes a lot of energy and a made up mind. And that's my takeaway. Just take the first step.
Mm.
First step in, investing in yourself. And and here's the I guess the battle. The battle is, well, what about, this person? What about that person? No, you have to pick number one first. You,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, because you can't. Um, I can't go to New Zealand, if I say, what about if my desire is to go to New Zealand and I
Mm.
want to make it happen, and I continue to say, well, what about? No, no. Let me do things to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is my dream. This is investment for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, other people need to be second.
Yes. Yes. And then you can give to others
Yeah.
unconditionally, coming from a
Yeah.
place of a field, love tank for yourself, from a place
Hmm.
of,
Yeah.
your reserve is full, you're not running on empty, and you're
Right.
not running and giving from a place of resentment, which I spoke about yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw that yesterday, but
Not yet. I haven't.
yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Anyway, for another
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, I would just like to add to that and just say, take baby steps. It doesn't have to be big investments. It can start with purchasing an Audible book, a book to read, investing that time for a walk for your health,
Hmm.
invest in um, just being conscious and making that healthier choice in food for your health and well-being, and yeah, invest in you.
Yes. And
Invest
I
in you.
and I
It's nothing.
highly recommend. I know the 5 a.m. club and the monk who sold his Ferrari is, top billing and everybody's talking about it. Well, majority of people talking about it. But I highly recommend the Everyday Hero Manifesto,
Yes,
and the Leader Without a Title.
yes, yes,
But hero first.
yes. It's a plus. I would do it again. I'm just like, I was. In fact, to me, in the end, because I was half asleep on the plane, it became hypnotic. And even though I wasn't registering consciously, I knew subconsciously it was all kicking in. So I didn't care. I didn't care. I'm,
Hmm.
happy to fall asleep with it at night and just
Yes.
let it just seep through my subconscious mind hypnotically.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Zanetta. I'm glad
Yes.
were able to work out your tech issues. That's crazy.
Well, no, because I bought a new desktop.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really fancy.
Oh, too fancy. But it's, yeah, got to still work it out. That's all right. But we got
Yeah.
you on, and
So
mm,
yeah, I have to figure it out what's going on with the audio,
yeah.
um, because it has a facial recognition.
Oh, so does everything else, right? We're going
I
to be
mean, this is the
rock
first desktop that I've seen
with a
that
facial
can
recognition.
do the facial recognition. I was like, what? Oh, and it charges my phone too,
Oh,
wirelessly.
shh, that's crazy. Is that
Yeah,
an Apple desktop? No. Okay.
it's a HP.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And your phone is
Apple.
Apple. Oh, and it connects with oh, that's
Hmm.
interesting. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for chiming in.
Yes.
And if you're catching this on the replay, we always love to hear where you're from. Hashtag replay, hashtag live, hashtag us.
hashtag
Hashtag
hashtag.
troll. So we're just adding lots of hashtags. But I like Hashtag.
So for the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks, I believe, yeah, 2 weeks, I won't be available
Okay.
because
Because
I'm investing in me.
there you go. Wow.
Yeah,
Good.
I'll
Well,
tell you.
you can share in your investment when you come back.
Yes,
We'd love to hear.
yes, yes.
Sounds great.
Indeed.
All right. So, signing off from Fun Fresh Fridays, we
Yeah.
send you lots of love as usual. And
Passion.
that's it. Until then, bye for now.
Bye for now.